capital, Iraqi soldiers simply took off their uniforms and went home. Without surrender and with no formal government left in the country, a period of looting and sporadic resistance to the occupying forces set in. Over the next months, it became clear that former members of the Iraqi regime, together with some armed anti-American forces from outside Iraq, had started a long and bitter armed resistance. Although the war itself had been conducted with less than 120 Americans killed in action prior to Bush's May 1st declaration of the end of combat, deaths among occupying American troops after May 1st had already exceeded that number by fall 2003. In many ways, the Iraq War of 2003 was unique. Although an extremely successful war by the common measures of duration of conflict and casualties incurred by U.S. troops, it ranked as one of the most controversial in American history. From the beginning, polls indicated that a clear majority of the American people supported the president in his decisions, but a vociferous and articulate minority continued to debate many issues. Central among those issues were whether the war was justified, whether the methods used in the war were appropriate, and whether the planning for the post-war endgame was well thought out. Some of the problems raised in connection with the Iraq War of 2003, known officially as Operation Iraqi Freedom, are among the most important today. Many of them may be debated in public for years to come. It is important that students, and for that matter, the general public, recognize that such crucial problems can be discussed intelligently against a background of information, as well as against a background of conflicting values. All too often, informed opinion is absent in the media, with discussions reflecting heat, not light. This work has been carefully crafted to assist readers in weighing the merits of differing viewpoints about serious policy questions. This work begins with the shock and awe campaign that marked the start of the war. Americans were perhaps as awed as the residents of Baghdad as they viewed the spectacular detonations broadcast from that city over television worldwide on March 20th, 2003. To understand what lay behind that attack, the following chapters backtrack, exploring pertinent aspects of Iraqi and Middle Eastern history, the first war in the Persian Gulf, and the problem of determining whether the Hussein regime continued to develop WMD. The book then traces the 2003 war itself, records the reaction of the public in the United States and around the world, and explores the tangled aftermath of the war. Operation Iraqi Freedom and the larger War on Terror conducted around the world since September 11, 2001, have led to deeply divisive debates over a great many issues. Among those considered in this book are the following. 1. The contrast between the Persian Gulf War and the Iraq War. Why was there so little international debate in 1990 and so much in 2003? Why was there so much domestic debate in 2003? 2. Was the Iraq War a just war? 3. Did President George W. Bush establish a dangerous precedent with a doctrine of preemptive war? 4. Did President George W. Bush and Prime Minister Tony Blair mislead their legislatures and their peoples about the WMD threat? 5. Why did the inspection regime not work out? 6. Why did some long-standing U.S. allies, such as France, Canada, and Mexico, disagree with the American decision to go to war against Iraq? 7. Could the Iraqi regime under Saddam Hussein be considered a modern state? Are comparisons of Hussein to Adolf Hitler justified? 8. Is the world safer from terrorists after the Iraq War? 9. Why was it so much harder to establish peace in Iraq than it was in Japan, Germany, and Italy after World War II? 10. How could the war against such an apparently powerful Iraqi enemy be conducted with so few coalition casualties? was the rap.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.